6.1 Notational Analysis. Biomechanics is focusing on the mechanics of movement within the body and is used to either enhance performance or increase safety. Notational analysis is a way of recording an athlete's performance. This can be done in many different ways, but most started out as a manual task where someone would most likely tally each skill they saw the athlete reenact successfully and unsuccessfully. For example, one of the first cases of notational analysis came in when Sanderson decided to watch a game of squash and tallied all the times the player performed certain skills. As this was done alone without assistance, it took a long time and was very liable to flaws, such as Sanderson missing things or not noting down as much as he should have. However, the way notational analysis takes place has evolved with technology and is mostly for professionals done using computers and software. An example of this is how football players wear GPS systems on them, so coaches can see where they travel in game, and training to see if they can improve on movement. Another way it has improved is by not only do players get recorded in training, they also get recorded during a game, which allows for coaches to see if they are slacking in training or matches, and also allows them to see who is able to perform under pressure and who can't, as some thrive where there are high stakes. The data gathered from notational analysis is subcategorized into these three categories. There's technical, movement, and tactical performance criteria. Technical performance criteria typically focuses on different skills in a game that are recorded to show performance level, and are given back in quantitative data, most likely as a percentage. For example, if a netball player took 10 shots and scored 7, that player would be given a 70% shot accuracy. However, this can be misleading if the results are given back as percentages, as if a hockey player took 5 shots in a game and scored 3 of them, they would have a 60% shot accuracy at full time. Whereas if someone only took 1 shot in the entire game but scored it, that would leave them with a 100% shot accuracy. This is where you have to be cautious of these stats, as the first player scored 2 more goals than the second, but if you look at the stats, you would say player 2 had the better game. The next is movement analysis. This looks at movement patterns of a player. A GPS is tagged onto a player and tracks where they go during a game. This can be given back in many ways, but the most common are percentage charts of the pitch or court showing what percentage of the game they are in each section of the pitch. Like, for example, if it's divided into thirds, there'll be the defensive third, midfield third, and attacking third, and can let coaches see if someone needs to be defending or attacking more, but doesn't let you see where they are or where they've been on the pitch. Whereas the other way of tracking players' movement is through a heat map. This allows for coaches and training staff to look at where a player moves most on the pitch, and allows them to then work on what they are doing in training to utilise the space that is otherwise unused on the pitch by the player. For example, if an attacker was only attacking down the right and not using the left wing, they would pick up on this and work on movement in training to give a more rounded attack and use all the space up front, not just the right. The final performance indicator is tactical analysis. This focuses on how many times a team uses a certain tactic up against their opponent. For example, how many times a football team decide to try a long diagonal ball as opposed to playing out from the back. This is useful for coaches, especially mid-game, as it allows them to see what sort of play is working and what isn't, so they can hopefully develop off of what's working and hopefully score.